The Arnold's 2023 men's list has been announced and we have some interesting athletes, a couple of big names missing out and some very, very interesting returns. So Auntie Liz, as always, 10 athletes at the Arnold Classic. Now, the big news I think we need to get out straight away is no Martinez Novakov, the defending champion, and no Alexei Novakov. Both athletes have announced they want some time off. Body's feeling battered. Martinez has said he's not going to compete until 2024. He wants another full year off. Alexei wanting some time off as well, so he is skipping the Arnold Classic in 2023. Devastating news as a fan, I've got to say.
Course,
the schedule for guys right now, when you look at how grueling the events are, the opposition that you're up against, and I think a lot of these guys now are trying to prolong their careers. So rather than just compete in everything and kind of destroy themselves, they're starting to be selective. And, you know, Martinez has probably been the most predominant athlete doing that, taking years off at a time to kind of give himself a good shot at, you know, he won the Arnolds obviously last year, amazing performance. So from a fan's point of view, disappointing to not see them there. But
we understand.
We totally understand. Saying that, we have some returning athletes.
Yes.
Short, not such a long break, but the Stotmans will be returning for the Arnold's 2023.
Which I think basically confirms they're not going to be doing Britons. It's not that they're like right on top of each other, but I just think if they really want to give the Arnolds a shot, you have to have a good build up to it, don't you?
I mean, they haven't announced this publicly yet,
but
I'm going to take from this that they won't compete in Britain's Strongest Man. Obviously, Britain's was closer last year.
Much closer. It was like a week apart.
It was, but I feel knowing how they kind of have reacted to competitions in the past, and obviously talking to their coach Dan and myself get along pretty well, I think the Stotmans will be focusing on the Arnolds and World's Strongest Man. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
And, you know, they want to go down as some of the greatest, particularly Tom. He needs to win multiple big competitions. He's already a two-time winner of Worlds. He'll be looking to add the Arnolds to that as well. Should we go through the list?
Yes.
I think we should start off with the very exciting return.
Yes, the most exciting return in the world.
Go on, I know you want to do this one.
Yes, Mateusz Kiliashkovsky, the Toffee King himself, is coming back to competition at the Arnold's 2023. Now, he was supposed to do that this year. Unfortunately, training for the squat, he picked up an injury. Oh my goodness. We just need Mateusz to have, like, I need angels to protect you. Honestly, I will be that angel if it would make a difference.
I am super excited to see Kiliashkovsky back, but I am slightly nervous with him coming back to such a...
the heaviest competition in the strongman calendar.
I mean, if you look at his training videos, he's been posting up a few on Instagram recently and a couple on YouTube.
He's looking good.
He's looking strong.
Mateusz, he's done so well at this competition. Second place only to Thor before, and
I think this is his favourite competition. This is the one he wants more than anything.
He's just done so well. It's a shame because in previous years he was in contention to win and it was the deadlift that really stopped that from happening, but he's had great success at the Arnold's otherwise, so very, very, very excited to see him at this competition.
So another returning athlete, Bobby Thompson, did extremely well last year, joint third along with Luke Stotman. Both those athletes are powerhouses and seem to suit these type of competitions. I'm looking forward to seeing what Bobby can do in this one, especially now that we're working together.
Well, I was going to say.
You know, him and me are both excited to find out what the events are. I know you guys will be as well, but we still don't know. So once we get those events kind of, you know, out in the open and we can go down and train for it, it's going to be really good. But Bobby is looking forward to this one. This is, again, the type of competition that suits Bobby probably more than World's Strongest Man will.
Absolutely, definitely, because there's no reliance on the Atlas stone, sort of stone off format.
And it's less about speed, it's more about power,
yes,
heavy, brutal strength. That's what Bobby's all about.
That's what Bobby likes. A strange guy.
Now, another athlete of mine is Mitch Hooper, is going to be doing his first ever Arnold's. Now, when we kind of look at the schedule of the year, Mitch, we're like focusing a bit more on World's Strongest Man. But Mitch is also a very competitive man that wants to win everything. So he'll be working hard for this one as well. And he's very adaptable, very good at some events that they've done in the past. I mean, he wants that bale tote to be back.
I don't
heavy
think
yoke.
it should be. That thing has destroyed
a few careers.
Yeah, maybe a lighter version.
He would love to try it, but we don't know the events yet. But you know, he's an incredible athlete, very well rounded, and I think he'll do extremely well at the Arnolds.
So another really exciting newbie to this competition is, of course, wide Pablo Nicole. He did the Rogue Invitational just a couple of months ago. He came 5th there, and that's, you know, it's quite similar in terms of it's spaced over a couple of days, etc. The Arnold's is heavier, and I think, I don't know actually, why Pablo like that? Like, he's one of those, he's good at everything, isn't he? He's good if it's fast, he's good if it's heavy.
I think he likes powerful events. I mean, you look at how good his deadlift is and heavy type powerlifting background, I think the heavier the better for this man.
Yeah, except if they do the bell tote, because yoke actually is one of his weaknesses. But we won't get into that anyway, because we don't know the events just yet. But I think everyone's going to be super excited to see how wide Pablo does at the Arnolds.
So we have some returning athletes such as Maxine Boudreau coming back for his 2nd year at the Arnold Classic. Had a couple of good events last year.
Yeah, the frame carry especially.
Frame carry, if that's in there, he'll be looking to get big points once again. He'll want to avoid a deadlift, you'd think.
Yeah, probably at this level against these guys. Because
there's only been 1 year at the Arnolds where they didn't do a deadlift. So do you think they stick with the squat, or do you think the deadlift comes back? Or something completely different, just to shock us all?
I'd love to see something different, but I don't know what that could possibly be. Like
backlift.
The squat was okay, but like, you know, I felt a little bit like it went on for a while. Yeah. It did go on for a bit, and I couldn't see anything past the spotters, so I think that's why I was a little bit meh.
I think visually a deadlift looks a little bit, it's a little bit easier to run and a little bit easier to watch than a squat. Yeah, but as much as I personally love a squat.
Oh yeah, and no criticism at all, because we were so happy that they did it, because when was the last time we saw a max squat before that?
So an athlete I think could do extremely well at the Arnolds. He didn't do as well as I would have expected last year, but his year got better as it went on, is Trey Mitchell. Trey, an absolute powerhouse. What's he going by now? He's got a new nickname, hasn't he?
I don't know if it's new, it's Big Thicket.
Big Thicket.
Yeah, and it suits him. Like, and yeah, Trey, last year I had him in my top 3 in the predictions, because like you say, this, you'd think on paper it would really suit Trey, but he did go into it carrying an injury. So.
Yeah, hopefully fully fit Trey comes in for the Arnolds 2023 and we see big things from the big Texan.
So another exciting addition to next year's lineup is Thomas Evans, who won the Amateur Arnolds this year. So that is... right now, it's actually the only qualifier, like the only way for people to actually officially qualify for this show.
Is invitation only, isn't it?
Yeah. But this is a route that some incredible athletes have sort of progressed through. Alexei Novakov won the Amateur Arnolds, and that was how he got into the pro level. Mateusz Kiliashkovsky, Bobby Thompson, Mike Jenkins. There have been some incredible athletes.
Huge names come through that Amateur Arnold. So.
Yes, and I know he was disappointed in his showing at OSG just a few weeks ago, but Thomas won the Shaw Classic Open Men's, and he won the Amateur Arnold. So I'm sure with some focused training. A
great year for Tom, and I think he's going to be real focused on this one. I think it's going to be a great year in 2023 for him. Yeah. Obviously, he's going to have the Shaw Classic to do. He's got the Arnolds to do. I think we're going to see him at a lot of big shows. Big future star of strongman right there. Our final athlete is Rob Kearney. Now, Rob was incredible on day 1 this year at the Arnold Classic. He was actually leading the show after the first day. Ended up slipping down to 5th overall, but still a very solid performance.
Top 5 at the Arnolds.
And Rob is one of those guys where we will wait and see what the events are to decide. You know, Rob can be unbelievable.
He's got some...
and he can be, you know, he's got events where he, if the frame carries in there and events like that, he's going to struggle. So until we know the events, it's hard to decide how Rob will do. And, you know, people might say, well, does Rob deserve to be there?
He gets that all the time,
Yeah, but you look at the performances that he's put in the big shows, such as the Arnolds, he did well. Such as the Rogue Invitational 2021, he did really well.
Yeah.
Hasn't been so good at World's Strongest Man, wasn't so good at the Rogue, the last performance. But he is one of those athletes with the right events. He can be very, very dangerous. And again, another athlete that probably would enjoy the bail tote. Very good at yoke, very good at heavy yokes as well. Good deadlifter, good at dumbbells. So it's going to come down to what events are chosen for someone like Rob. But another great addition to an already stacked lineup.
So a couple of other athletes also missing from last year's lineup. Yevgeny Markov, who obviously he won
the amateur
qualifier. I think you really have to break into that top portion to guarantee an invitation the following year. And then obviously JF Caron, but
JF sadly not going to be there this year. Hopefully he'll turn up and be at the event. I'm sure it'll be cool to see him. Martinez and Novakov, the two athletes first and second from last year.
I know.
Which means we are guaranteed a new Arnold champion.
Yes, that's exciting. We were in the same position this year as well because none of the former champions were there. So that's exciting. Like if you just had to pull a name out of a hat not knowing the events, what would you say?
Well, if Mitch and Bobby were top two, I'd be very happy.
Well, yeah, of course. I would say Trey though. Like if you just thought Arnold and then looked at the lineup, not knowing anything else.
Do you know what? Like without knowing the events, it's so hard
it's
because you've got Tom Stotman in there, who, in my eyes, Tom at Worlds last year was unbelievable.
He needs to bring that focus.
If he brings that kind of focus and it's the events that suit him, Tom is going to be dangerous.
And to be fair to Tom, because a lot of people say, oh, he's only good if it's Giants Live or Worlds. He was brilliant at the Rogue Invitational 2021, which he did focus on. He just missed out. He was second, wasn't he, to Martinez?
Yeah, and again, it comes down to events. People kind of, sometimes they look at what strongmen have won, but don't look at the actual competitions.
It also comes down to his mindset as well.
Absolutely.
And actually going
into
last
year, like the squat, for instance, is not a strong event for Tom. The frame carry is not a particularly strong event for Tom. If you put in the events that are strong for him, you remember when they used to have the big Atlas stone at the Arnold's?
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's a different event altogether. And he's got, I'm excited to see him returning.
Yes.
After, a bit of time off, let's see what kind of shape he's in. Luke Stotman is the brother that you expect to do almost better at the Arnold's. It's a more power-based. He came third last year. Interesting to see how he will do. I think even guys like Thomas Evans, focus solely on training for the Arnold's.
Yeah.
And the man that no one can not mention is Kiliashkovsky.
Oh my goodness, hold on, get out of my head, Trey. Mateusz.
Oh, you don't want Trey anymore.
Sorry, Trey, I love you. Oh, of course. Do you know what? It was almost like a dream. I forgot he was competing. So, yes, Mateusz. But again, it's event dependent.
Look, until those events are announced, I don't go into predictions.
I just get excited.
It's a fantastic lineup of 10 incredible strongmen.
Yes.
Cannot wait to get over there. The Arnold's 2023 is going to be amazing. As always, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a like, please, if you did, and comment below with who you guys either want or think will win the Arnold's.